On an unremarkable road, where the mist flowed like a ghostly beckoning, amidst thick trees, drove a lone girl named Alice. She tried hard to focus on conquering her own fears, dreaming of the comfort and safety of her home. But the dark, trembling shadows of the forest, the headlights of her car barely illuminating, only fueled her imagination. The longer she drove, the emptier the road became, as if a hungry gulp of darkness consumed the surrounding world. And then, in this silence, something terrible emerged. It burst from the shadows, from the forest, like the ghost of fear itself. Its spikes, sharp and shimmering, seemed to be made of the very night. Its red eyes gleamed like coals in a demon's cave. Alice, screaming in terror, found the strength to grip the steering wheel even tighter. She didn't know what this creature was, but instinct told her that it was something not of this world, that it carried evil and danger within it. She accelerated, but the shadow behind her didn't relent. It was as if part of this grim landscape, part of her fear. And just when her heart felt ready to burst from tension, when she was so close to her end, she saw something ahead that made her slow down. There was a turn in the road. A turn somewhere where perhaps she could hide from this horror. Alice, without hesitation, made the sharp turn, praying that it would lead her to salvation, not to even darker horrors. The road became more winding, like a labyrinth, but Alice didn't give up. She was determined to escape this nightmare, no matter the cost. Finally, after an endless march, the road led her to an abandoned house. Old, disfigured by time, as if also consumed by darkness. Alice stopped, trying to figure out where she had ended up. But before she could do anything else, she heard a quiet, yet distinct whisper behind her. She slowly turned around and shuddered. Behind her stood the same terrifying creature, its red eyes gleaming in the darkness, its spikes shimmering like deadly blades. "You cannot escape me," it whispered, its voice cold and piercing, like the wind from a tomb. And in that moment, Alice realized that her struggle was only beginning. She was trapped in this house, in this nightmare, with this terrible creature. She understood that to survive, she needed to accept this challenge, to fight until her last breath, for otherwise, the darkness would swallow her, like sand in the desert, and she would become part of this endless nightmare.